Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Ever17, The Out of Infinity. I believe last time I said that I was going to record a couple in a row. You know, maybe more than a couple, I can't remember. Obviously that wasn't just a little bit ago that I said that. Yeah, sorry about that. It took about a week of not doing the... I'm off camera. Did I move this? Has this got moved? Yeah. I should restart, but I'm not. Totally should, but oh well. Well, you don't need to see the top of my head. What does the top of my head offer this? Anyway, yeah. Yeah, decided to take the whole, last week from doing videos. I wasn't really meaning to, but just did. Got too drowsy to be able to be mildly amusing. I want to say that I am amusing. Probably just, sometimes mildly amusing. Hopefully. But, yeah. I hadn't even got to watch all the videos. I've been mostly watching videos rather than making them or playing games even. Though Skyrim went on sale. Had to get that. That was one of the things I was really disappointed when my Xbox crapped out on me a couple years ago. Right before it came out. So yeah, I'm getting to play that now. Great game. Very happy about it. Anyway, yeah, what was going on here? Takshi was talking to himself apparently. He was really talking to Sora. She was, for some reason, making herself only visible to him. She was only beaming the lasers in his eye. And, I can't remember specifically what all was going on. Before that, there was that scene with Sarah. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. It'll come back to me. And then my vision twisted crazily. I ended that last one perfectly, didn't I? Wait, maybe the attack hit before his voice did. I didn't know, but in any case, I lost my sense of balance. I couldn't tell what was up or down. It was such a sudden change that it threw me. Felt an urge to vomit and a headache. Who are you? Who am I? It's my voice, but it wasn't mine. Lost consciousness. Crashed to the floor. Wait a second. Wait. He's talking like he just suddenly saw somebody or something. Was it me that fell or someone else that wasn't me? I felt myself sinking into the ground. Was I sinking? Or was the floor trying to swallow me? I didn't know. I didn't know.
Clone hole? Clone hole? Clone hole? Clone hole?
Welcome to the rest of the game. That's all it is now, right? Just clone law repeated. Okay, no. I melted into the pure white darkness. Switcheroo. Clone law?
Hi, Clone hole です。
I don't know, I mean, I forgot.
2010年にそれまで禁止されていた人間のクローン受精は法律で認められました。現在では省庁の許可さえ得られれば誰でもクローン受精による不妊治療が受けられるようになっています。培養した体細胞から核を抜き取り、別のすでに核を抜き取ってある卵細胞の中にそれを移植し、
Okay. Apparently she said that really quietly. Oh, that's right, I remember now.
ご理解いただけましたか?
But what does that have to do with this? Clones develop separately. In other words, they're different entities. They're not the same person. They're more like twins.
でもその由来は単一です。
Sora spoke almost casually.
話を戻しますね。 私は偏在している。同じ空間の中に、時間の中に複数の私が存在できるのです。例えば倉成さんの前とココちゃんの前、あそことここに2人の私がいる。けれどそれは
So
決
she's
して
saying that she is talking to
ダブ
Coco
ル
at
で
that
はなく
moment?
Y なのです。
What?
そうですね。考えてみてください。もしもあなたという人格をそっくりそのままコピーすることができるとしたら、例えばあなたの脳に刻まれたすべての記憶、考え方、感じ方、人格、性格、感情、それらすべての情報を正確に忠実に摘出することができたとして、
Would you have to have intelligence?
それを何らかの記憶媒体に複製し、しかもその機能を再現できるとしたら、その時本当のあなたはどこにいるのでしょうか。肉体に残ったままの人格が本当のあなた？それとも複製した人格が本当のあなた？正解はそのいずれにも本当のあなたがいるです。
I like how that relates to him copying her over onto the disc later on in or way back or in another dimension.
そう、
However you want to
あ
look
な
at
た
it.
は分裂し2つになるのです。歴史的にはその瞬間から2人のあなたは別々の個体として同一時間軸上を歩んでいくことになります。けれどその道のりを振り返ってみれば、2つのあなたはある一点で結ばれていたことがわかるはずです。それがつまり Y なのです。ダブルではなく Y。 あるポイントを起点として別々に分かれていく2つの自分をあなたは想像することができないかもしれません。しかしそれはすでに起こっていることなのです。
That's something I don't think I've ever mentioned, you know, kind of like right down the center, you know, it just like whoosh, splits into two. That'd be very bizarre.
あなたは常に絶え間なく訪れては過ぎ去っていく瞬間瞬間の中で何らかの選択を迫られています。 A の道を行くか B の道を行くか。ここにいるあなたが A の道を歩んできたとしても、別の時間軸上では B の道を歩んできたあなたが存在するかもしれません。
Where is Takshi in the kid's version? Actually, he's in the same place, isn't he?
そして A の道のあなたも B の道のあなたもあなたであることに変わりはない。ただ A の道にいるあなたは B の道にいるあなたのことを知りません。知る手段がないからです。同様に B の道にいるあなたも A の道にいるあなたのことには気づかないでしょう。なぜだかわかりますか？
Tell me if this is basically it. The Mion Path A that you were talking about is one of the branches of the Y, and the Mion Path B is the other branch. To make it easier to understand, let's say that this is all two-dimensional or on a flat plane. In this case, both my A and B selves would be two-dimensional beings. As two-dimensional beings, they wouldn't have an accurate awareness of their two-dimensional world at any time. Just like a person in a three-dimensional world can't keep track of all 6 sides of a die in real time. Unless they have a mirror. Wait, that would only be 5 sides. But wait, the mirror. What? That means, let's see. Well, if it's like an invisible... Why am I going into this much detail? If he has a mirror, if he has like an invisible, you know, kind of like the coffee table sometime, Al, an invisible surface area type thing, a glass painted, you know, and there's a mirror on the bottom of the floor, you know, you could be aware of all the dimensions, all of them at the same time. There's no reason for me to think that deep into that, but that's what I did. Dang, I lost my train of thoughts. I just made Takashi lose his train of thought. In other words, basically it means this. The person at one end of the Y and the person at the other end of the Y branch can't really be aware of each other in real time. In order to know what is happening at the other end of the Y, you'd have to extract yourself from the two-dimensional plane and view the Y from a three-dimensional space. Until you can do that, even if you understand it mentally, there is no way to confirm whether both A and B selves exist.
まあ、ほぼ正解ですね。続けます。
Sora said this in a matter-of-fact tone.
今、倉成さんが意味軸もおっしゃったように、二次元的な存在は二次元平面から脱出し、三次元空間内からその平面を見下ろさない限り、二次元の全体像を把握することはできません。脱出が可能となった時、その時初めて自分が Y の字の一部であったことに気づき、さらに枝分かれしたもう一人の自分がいることにも気づけるのです。まとめましょう。 N 次元的な存在が N 次元の全体像を把握するためには N プラス1次元空間へと脱出する必要がある。もちろんこれは3次元空間内においても当てはまります。3次元的な存在が3次元の全体像を把握するためには4次元空間へと脱出する必要がある。つまり倉成さんが枝分かれした他の自分がいることに気づくためには4次元空間へと飛び出してこの私たちがいる3次元空間内を見下ろさなければならないのです。この場合の4次元空間とはミンコフスキー時空のことを指しているわけですが、まあその話はいいでしょう。
Minkowski space. That does not sound familiar. Did she talk about that last time? This is different, right?
さて、これで異なった歴史、異なった世界、異なった空間の中に別の自分自身が存在するということが分かってもらえたでしょうか。世界に自己は偏在しているのです。あなたと同様に私という存在も偏在しています。あなたも私と同じ単一から分かれた Y ですが、偏在する自己は一つになれるのです。あなたの知らないあなたがあなた自身と不可分の存在になれるとしたら、あなた自身が他のあらゆるあなたを把握できる位置に立って全てを見通せたとしたら、全てのあなたの体験はあなた一人の体験に等しくなる。あなたは本当の意味でたった一つの存在になる。
Let alongside. She's telling me how to win the game. I have a feeling she's telling me how to win the game. Guess we'll find out when I get there. Stand in the same place as all of the others? Well, the other Takashis have went to Himmel. The kid hasn't been to Himmel, has he? He did go that one time when he died with the use bad ending, didn't he? I don't know. Listen, can I ask you something?
どうぞ。
Why are you telling me all this?
いい質問ですね。
That is a very good question. Why? Sora did a somersault in space and smiled. She answered a question with a somersault. That seems like a diversion.
伝説ですよ。このレミューの由来のレムリア大陸に伝わる伝説です。そういうことにしておいてください。内緒ですよ。
I want to know what this Minkowski effect or whatever she said is. That's what I want to know. Don't make me Wikipedia it, Sora. Sora held up one finger in front of her mouth. And then without a sound, she vanished. Leaving me hanging. For a while, I just stood there, lost in thought. There's a doorbell ditching. There was doorbell ditching and eating and running, but I figured there wasn't a word like chat and run or debate and ditch. Chat and run? Actually, there is something like that. I did all the time at work. When I need to be somewhere, I'll be like, yeah, that's over there. Yeah, over there. On the third aisle, yeah. Depends on if they're really, if I think they're actually really buying or just looking. You know, if I think they're just looking, I'll do that. Or if it's simple, you know, it's not good customer service. But you know, if you have a 50,000, you know, it's 50,000 customers, and you're probably gonna die trying to help that many. That was exactly what Sora had just done to me. You had to debate and ditch. Oh well. Letting out a sign made for the exit. As I walked and reflected back on what Sora had said, the clones and dividing selves, walking in different times, simultaneous copies of Sora and the ubiquitous Sora. I wondered if Sora was just trying to say that everything was all the same. So maybe Sora, with all her incomprehensible and special attributes, not having oneself, was really not all that different. I wonder if that was what Sora had wanted to say. I wasn't sure. But I didn't see much use in thinking anymore about things that I didn't understand. That is when it happened. Yet. Squish. Okay, what? My foot came into contact with something soft. It felt as if I were stepping on a person. That's not a person, is it? Let's look down to find out. Yep. It is a person. I'm glad I reacted quickly enough. One of my feet was standing on the kid's small back. Hey kid, are you alright? I guess he just decided to lay down on the floor, you know. For no reason, and let somebody step right over him, because he's okay. I knelt down next to him and raised his body up.
Takeshi.
What do you mean? Takeshi. What are you doing collapsing in a place like this? The kid bounced up like he had been shocked.
そっか。僕、なんでか知らないけど、突然頭が痛くなっちゃって。それで、ここに倒れちゃったんだ。
Your head, that could be bad news.
もう大丈夫。ちょっと眠ったら、すっきりしちゃった。
Refreshed you just enough to pass out. You sure you're fine?
でも、なんか背中が痛いかも。
I decided to tell him that I had been stepping on it.
あとは、お腹が空きすぎて、胃がキュルキュルと鳴ってる。
I see. Well, if you've got an appetite, then you're probably okay, but maybe you should have Sora take a look at you. Healthy people don't just get headaches and collapse all of a sudden. Hey, are you listening to what I'm saying?
何が？もう、たけしは心配性だな。平気だってば。ただの貧血だよ、貧血。じゃなかったら、疲労か空腹か睡魔。とにかく、今は背中以外に痛いところはないし。
Yeah, I just can't bring myself to tell him I've stepped on it.
そんなことよりも、早く売店行こうよ。僕、お腹ペコペコなんだから。
Saying that, the kid made for the exit, walking briskly. Shrugging, I watched him go. I was famished as well, but there was one more place I had to go before I went to the kiosk. Of course, it was to see Tsugumi. Her surgery was done a long time before Sora's talk about W and Y, so over 7 hours before. I asked Sora about Tsugumi's condition.
40針ほど縫いました。全治2ヶ月といったところです。元のように歩けるようになるにはさらに数ヶ月かかりますね。小町さんには救助が来てレミューから出られるようになるまで安静にしてもらうことになるでしょう。
We were lucky that this was no damage done to her brain or organs. Only her right thigh was injured. Maybe only wasn't the best way to put it. In any case, she had a compound fracture and a severed artery, and if we had taken any longer to treat her, she might have died from blood loss. I was thankful to you from the bottom of my heart. I entered the infirmary. Tsugumi was sleeping quietly on the bed in the far side of the room. It wasn't my first time to visit her since the surgery. I had been in and out from that afternoon to evening again and again. Thinking about it then, it seemed to me that the reason Sora had suddenly called me and explained about the whole W&Y thing had probably been to take my mind off of Tsugumi and puzzle it more. Her condition hadn't changed. She looked peaceful and was breathing steadily. A white blanket was covering her and her foot peeked out from under it. She had a cast and bandage wrapped around her right leg. It looked painful, as all casts do. The smell of medicine continued to assault my nose. The scene was fairly raw, and with traces still visible of where blood had been wiped away. I reached my hand under the blanket and gently took Tsugumi's palm in my hand. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. All I could do was repeat that mantra over and over to resting Tsugumi. She woke up last time. Didn't she? Maybe not. He visited her twice, didn't he? Maybe she woke up the second time he visited her. Visited her in the game, I guess. Because he said he visited her quite a few times. After eating dinner at the kiosk, the four of us, you, Coco, the kid, and myself, moved to the rest area. The kid started laughing. The kid was chasing Pee-Pee around as they wove around the statues. They all looked like they were having fun. You decided to head for the control room. Coco. Huh? I didn't see Coco anywhere. I decided to look into the nearby kiosk. But she wasn't there. No one was. I emerged in the corridor. Squinting, I looked down the corridor to where it came to a T. Only there was no sign of anyone. Nearby was the entrance to the Lemurian ruins. The door was open. I could hear a small splashing sound coming from the area. I entered the room as if it were inviting me in. Coco was standing in the center of the room. She was standing on a stone that was just above the water's surface, her feet together. Coco. Coco lifted her face. She looked lonely. I approached her. What are you up to? Coco just stood there silently, eyes on the surface of the water. Looking closer, I saw that she was clutching something in her left hand. Then Coco took that something in her right hand and let loose with it, tossing it into space. With a light splashing sound, that something hit and sank in the water. It disappeared amidst a circle of expanding ripples. Coco threw something again. There was a small spray of water. The light's reflection on the water shook uncertainly. Splish, 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 splish. Just as the waves were about to die away, Coco launched something into the water, but the area was dark and I couldn't see what it was. Hey, Coco. What is that? Coco opened her hand and showed me. In her palm were tiny pebble-sized pellets. I wondered if they were glass. They were transparent and shaped like water droplets. They were shaped like crystal teardrops. That's how they looked. It was as if she had a handful of tears. What a visual type image of alliteration. Glass tears? I don't know what I don't know what I said there, so hopefully it was something. Coco flicked one of them with the tip of her finger. And that tear sunk into the water. Coco said that, ignoring my question. What? Oh, sorry.
助けようとしてくれて、だからつぐみんは
Coco's shoulders shook.
本当なら怪我しちゃうのはここだったはずなんだ。つぐみんが助けてくれなかったらココは死んじゃってたかもしれないんだ。
The tear traced an arc through the air before falling into the water.
つぐみん怒ってるかな。
Don't be silly. Why would Tsugumi be angry with you? Even if she were angry with anyone, it would be me. I mean, my carelessness caused everything. I'm the one to blame. I thought that the sadness Coco was feeling, that was all my fault as well.
違うよ違う。タケピョンのせいなんかじゃないよ。ココがいけないの。ココのせいなの。ココがぼーっとしてたから。つぐみんはココの身代わりになって。
Coco let the tears she was holding fall, scattering below her. A burst of white spray erupted from the water's surface below her.
タケピョン。
Jumping off the rock, Coco came bouncing into my chest.
ココ、つぐみんのとこ謝りに行く。ごめんなさいって言いに行く。ごめんなさいって、ごめんなさいって。
Coco continued to bury her face in my chest, crying. Coco's tears seeped through my skin, seeped through into my skin and into my core, like rain falling onto my heart. Cold rain. The many ripples on the water continued to fan out, never disappearing. Coco and I went into the infirmary. Inside the room was silent. We approached Tsugumi's bed carefully so as not to make a sound. Tsugumi's eyes were open. She turned her face toward us.
何？
We came to see how you're doing. How are you?
ご覧の通りよ。それ以上でも以下でもない。
I see.
要はそれだけ？
No. I know how to say what had to be said. I didn't think that just saying I'm sorry and bowing my head would get my feelings across. I wanted to choose my words carefully, but
ココね。つぐみんに謝ろうと思って。
Coco opened her mouth before I could speak.
謝る？だってつぐみんはココのこと助けてくれたから。だからごめんなさいって言わなくちゃいけなくて。それから。
She could say that it sure is going pretty slow, the words, but she's saying it pretty slow
あ
herself,
りが
so.
とうってごめんなさいとありがとうをココはつぐみんに
Coco's voice shook and she almost sobbed as she tied her words together.
バカな子ね。
Skumi's expression hinted at a smile.
ココ、ありがとうなんて言わなくていいのよ。もちろん謝る必要なんかもっとない。
Okay, I was going to say, you don't have to say thanks. But I will take your apology. That'd be really mean of her.
ココは何も悪くないんだから。でもお願い、そんな悲しい顔しないで。
Skumi extended one of her arms from the bed. She touched her palm to Coco's cheek.
すべては怒るべくして起こったの。誰のせいでもないの。
I'd never seen Tsugumi be so nice, so gentle. I was thinking the same thing. her piercing gaze and sharp tongue, they could have belonged to an entirely different person. And on kind of a happier note, I think I'll go ahead and end it here. Hopefully starting today it'll be back on track. Business as usual. Won't promise every day, but maybe almost every day. It's a great promise. It'll almost always happen. Seems like any type of promise. But yeah. Yeah, just in case. Well, nah, I'll do one before Christmas. But anyway, I do hope you folks enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one. It will be a week. Promise. Mostly promise. Unless something catastrophic happens to my internet, my computer, or me, family member, something like that, it won't be a week. Pretty much promise. Anyway, farewell, folks.